Hello, spiritual seekers. Boy, do I have one for you today. This is a pick a card reading on your authentic self. So, what message does your highest self have for you in terms of communing with your deepest inner truth that you need to know and learn? Perhaps it's something from your own Akashic records or contract that you need to understand and contemplate to help you get to the next level. So, just like every pick a card reading, I want you to take a deep breath in and choose a pile that resonates the most with you. Pile 1, we have here Lumerian seed crystal. Pile 2, we have green calcite. And pile 3, we have black shungite. All right, now go into the description and click the time code for your pile. Hello, pile 1. You picked Lumerian seed crystal. This is one of my favorite crystals. Its origins, or metaphysical channeled origins, comes from the myth of the Lumerian people. It's been mythologized that ancient Lemuria and ancient Atlantis existed and were sort of like the original civilization that people come from. Now, the Lumerians were known to, and this is all, again, mythology, although there are some people who do say they do channel the Lumerians and can speak light language, and I'm not trying to diminish anyone's personal experience. I'm just also trying to, I like to make sure I respect the channeled messages, but at the same time, let everyone know this is also just channeled messages and spiritual mythology as well, okay? So, it is said that the Lumerians were a starseed race that really connected with Mother Gaia. They had the ability to telepathically connect, and they were very advanced in terms of using crystal and light energy to do things like healing and create the civilization that they did. Different from the Atlanteans, the Lumerians were very much earth-oriented and compassion-oriented. The Atlanteans were as well, but the Atlanteans were also very technologically focused. It is said that those who are coming from the Lumerian branch of human existence have gifts within them that are ready to be unlocked. And it is said that there are even temples around the world where people get called to connect with their Lumerian ancestors and selves. So it's a very beautiful journey that I've been really intrigued by. And I want to thank all the channelers who've taught us a bit more about this culture and their journeys as spiritual people on this ascension quest that we're all on. Okay? Now, it's said that when you telepathically open up and can connect with these crystals, there are codes within the Lumerian crystals that are activated inside you. So this one here is a pink Lumerian seed crystal. From my understanding, these are very rare, and I got really lucky getting one. And I will say, when I meditate with this particular crystal, I do feel an insane amount of energy from it. So very cool crystal to choose. Let's see what your tarot cards have to say about your authentic self journey. Wow, so we have a very, almost two contrasting phases here. This Nine of Swords is representing somebody who has dealt with a lot of mental anguish, okay? Perhaps you have a lot of regrets in life, regrets in your past. Perhaps you also deal with things mentally that give you a challenge in this 3D reality. That could be anything from having a lot of stress and anxiety in your life It could also be trauma that you've experienced, or maybe you experience other things like neurodivergence or OCD, or just things that really weigh on the mind. I think in our world we can be still very judgmental of invisible challenges that people have to go through. We don't necessarily recognize the weight of things like anxiety and depression and these disorders or phases that people go through, and how much the mind plays such a role in creating our environment and our behavior, and even painting how we frame things in life. So if you are dealing with this or have dealt with it in the past, my heart goes out to you. Anxiety is not easy. Depression is not easy. Any mental challenge that you may have is not easy. And notice here that there's a lot of different swords. I'm also getting a sense of, even if you're living in different realities, so you have the projection of the face in different realities as well. Perhaps you deal with things like schizophrenia or bipolar. These are not easy disorders to have. And so we must have compassion for people who have these type of disorders. And I want you to know that if you are or have gone through this, and this is something that you live with in your life, that you are worthy and you have a lot to give. And this presentation or present experience that you have only just shows how strong you truly are to have this weight on your mind. Okay? If you're dealing with nightmares or anxieties and things that are heavy on your mind, this does really much define a person and how they interact. But the other side is, people who go through this oftentimes have such a deep soul, a compassionate soul, very empathetic. And this just shows, the Ten of Cups here, that there's this transition now, a transition that this person has made, or focus, this renewal that this person is having, and it's within their emotions. You know what I mean? We can be challenged in our mind, but when we come back to what fills up our cup, it makes it much easier. And this tells me that the gift that's been granted to this person is, or will be granted to you, is a life of harmony, full of love, full of joy, full of people around you, whether that's a family environment, friend environment, that truly, truly love you unconditionally. And you yourself represent a person who's full of love and full of joy and radiate unconditional love. So it's a very beautiful outcome for someone who's had so much challenge. We here see the number 9, which is the end of the cycle, right? To the number 10, which is reduced down to the number 1, but it's the new cycle. It is completion again, and it's the beginning of a new phase. So I want you to know that you have so much abundant love around you, and you yourself are an abundant, loving, compassionate human, and I want you to be joyful in that. With the Lumerian seed crystal being pink, and you can see pink here, this is the color of love, of compassion, of the heart. So let that be the thing that grounds you. You know, sometimes in our 3D reality, we get stuck in the material world and all of the challenges of the material world. But when we rejoice in what's in our heart, and the simple things like, you know, enjoying a cup of coffee or a cup of tea with a person you care about and having a great conversation, that is gold right there. That is enough. And it fills our day with so much joy and happiness, and allows you to be in that energy too. And you're that person who brings it for others. So share yourself. Even though it may be scary to be vulnerable, with all that you go through, just know that you also have so much to give and so much to receive. Love is out there, unfolding for you, ready for you, in more ways than you could imagine. When we keep ourselves open, then we keep ourselves open to receiving love. This is, I think, also part of that Lumerian energy, which is all about unconditional love, all about unity consciousness. And the Lumerians, really cared about balance with the earth. So be full in that energy of caring about our planet, caring about the family, caring about others. I think this is a beautiful light energy to be in and to be blissful in. Find your bliss and let the light codes come in you, because know that all the light that is around us, all the joy that is available to us, is not just feel good energy, but it's conscious energy. Okay, so maybe you want to connect with your ancestors. Maybe you yourself are have Lumerian origins, but following that bliss will take you to understanding that more. Okay, the other side, the astral, wants to be in joy with us. They want to see us succeed. They want us to see us be happy. So this is all about light energy here and being in a light-filled body, being in happiness. Next card. Oh, wonderful. Just confirmation right here. Attaining peace. I look within myself and stop blaming the outside world for my misfortunes. Through my searching and my efforts to gain purity, I transform myself. The material riches that I have acquired are not important. The riches that I will discover within myself are all that matters. Step by step in my spiritual quest, I free myself, I rise higher, and I attune to true inner peace. Wow. So this is about peace and harmony for you, this journey. Perhaps you're someone who's a go-getter and you're always chasing maybe your career or, the latest and greatest or whatever, and you just want to receive and express that external validation. And, there's nothing wrong with enjoying our 3D reality. That's why we're here, right? To enjoy that and play in that, but not at the sacrifice of our peace. And inner peace is so important, especially to someone who's had to be challenged with so much inner grief. So we want to let go of the grief. We want to let go of any blockages and go back to what is pure. And what is pure is what we are. It's already inside us. Okay? Purity and innocence isn't, what we've done or what we haven't done. It's the state of our consciousness to choose to focus on what is blissful, kind, compassionate, and unconditionally loving. Because when we focus on that and we put attention on that, that grows. It grows in our mind, in our heart, and then also in our world. So seek that peace, seek that harmony, and enjoy it, because it is around you. This energy is around you. And know that you are worthy in yourself, not of external validation or seeking external validation or needing the material validation. You already have all that love and all that harmony within you to tap into and share. Notice that the image of this person on the top of the stairs, they went through that climb, they climbed that challenge, and they're leaving all little drops of light wherever they go, and they stand on top just completely glowing, because that's you. You are full. Notice the water here and the fountain and the cups here, all this water energy. This is about the emotions, and you focus on bringing harmony to the emotions, you will find happiness, you will find joy. Next card. Delight. Wow, everything's always in synchronicity when I do this. Some people ask me like, oh, how do I select it? Do I just find a theme? No, I don't. I use my pendulums and I randomly pick everything. Okay, This is my spirit, my highest spirit talking to you. And it's always in synchronicity. So if you're watching this, thank your spirit, thank your highest self for your intuition in this process. Okay, so you got the Oracle card of Delight. Isn't this interesting? Delight is about intense joy and happiness. And the more delight we feel, the more delight we evoke in others. How wonderful is that? It is so easy, is it not, to be triggered nowadays? There's so much chaos around us. But what is your place in it all? Will you be the beacon of light? Will you let the chaos darken your spirits? Let's not. Let's be delighted in the small things. Let's find what makes us joyful and happy and bring that out to others, especially as somebody who has gone through the struggle, somebody who knows what shadows feel like in a very deep and intimate way. You can be a beacon and example for others on how to discern through the chaos. Now, I use the word discern. I don't say ignore, right? We don't want to ignore what's going on. We don't want to ignore the news. We don't want to ignore each other and ignore people's pain. What we want to do, though, is to be discerning on what we put our attention to. We still want to have compassion. We still want to have knowledge. But we don't want what is negative to necessarily affect us so much that it takes us away from our blissful state. Okay, we want to be mindful of what we input into our minds. We don't want to doom scroll, right? Because doom scrolls just make you sad or angry. Instead, we learn, we observe, we have compassion, we can even report. But let's detach ourselves from the negativity and move past that. Move past that to love, to discernment, to contentment. And from that place, we can find solutions, practical solutions in our life, and also solutions for society. It needs to come from a higher vibrational place. Okay? So, pile number 1, I hope this resonated for you. You have a beautiful soul and you have so much to offer. May so much divine light surround you and bring you peace and harmony and abundance this year. Okay, next pile. Hello, pile number 2. You selected green calcite. Now, green calcite is a wonderful stone for emotional soothing. It's a very cool feeling stone, and it relates directly with its green color to the heart chakra. So in terms of using the stone and holding it, it helps open your heart and heal any heartbreak that you may have, as it's very soothing to the parasympathetic nervous system. Because when we have that pain, that heartache, it helps. It is the vagus nerve that gives us the tension within our core. So hold the green calcite and let it soothe you, open you up, and relax your body. Perhaps you're going through a lot of emotional stress or anxiety. This stone is a good one to help purify and the other word is detox, right? Bring detox within the body and through the body. So there's also an element of wellness there. Okay, so let's get into the tarot to look at more around what message your higher self has for you, specifically about the nature of your authentic self. Incredible. So I have here the Mind of Cups and the Sun. So the Mind of Cups represents somebody who has mastered their emotions, or you're on this journey of emotional self-mastery. This is somebody who feels their emotions, is comfortable with their emotions, and also comfortable with their vulnerability. They're always helping people, and probably the person that everyone goes to for advice. And you're very good at it because, like the tortoise that lives long and goes through the journey of so many different landscapes, whether that's in the water or on land, the tortoise represents wisdom, and the tortoise, being long living, is also an animal that symbolizes your journey through the timelines. Right now, it's almost seeming like, your soul has gone through much. Your soul has gone through so much wisdom and learning. So you may be even an empath, because the wisdom that you have in terms of helping others and relating to others is deep within your core. It's not just from your experience of this lifetime, but your experiences of many lifetimes before. Through your emotions, you have understanding and wisdom for others and the way the world works. And that is why you are an emotionally self-mastered individual. Very cool. The other thing about the Mind of Cups is you also know, even though you're there for people, you also know how to express boundaries in a healthy way, because being emotionally self-mastered, you have to practice boundaries. Sometimes you have to say no, and sometimes you need to detach a little bit and say, I'm here for you, okay? But all the stuff that you're dealing with, here's a resource. Here's steps that you can take. I need my space at this time right now. However, I'm still here for you, right? You can still be there for people, but also put priority on your own mental state and mental well-being, right? Sometimes we think of boundaries as, okay, are we like, I'm cutting this person off and I'm just respecting my inner peace, and then it's like you're not even really caring if this person is really in your life or not. No, and a healthy boundary is still being able to maintain unconditional love for that person, while at the same time be aware of what you feel and what you need and nurture yourself so that your cup is full and you can also help others when your cup is full. So this is a very strong individual internally, a very aligned human being. And notice green and green. This person has such a strong and open heart chakra, very compassionate, very loving, right into, through, and by the heart. I love that. And then we have the sun here, and I say it all the time, but the sun illuminates all things. And you, my magnificent Mind of Cups soul, are all about truth and illuminating the truth around others, bringing perspective on what it cannot be seen, and also just radiating out your love and your energy, good vibes to everyone. And you also want to be in good vibes. But the great thing about you is that you're bringing a lot to the table emotionally for others. You're bringing so much wisdom, truth, love, and energy to whatever situation you come in. You're that friend that when people walk into the room, it's like they just want to run up to you and give you a hug. You are so cool. The other thing to add here is that we are in 2025. Now, some of you may be seeing this video after 2025, and it's okay, it's still relevant if this comes to you, but this particular year that we're in, that this video is being shot in 2025, is a year of a lot of solar energy, the peak of solar energy. So that being said, be mindful of that within your emotions and how your emotions may be feeling very wild right now, because there's so much solar energy and you are connected to the sun. Now, everybody's going to be connected to the sun. Everybody's going to be affected by solar energy, but people in particular who are, vibrationally maybe, empaths or really connected in that way may be affected in a way that just it brings out a lot of intensity. So just be aware of that right now and what's going on. But it's also a good time, as long as you stay in the seat of your heart, to manifest your dreams and your desires. And you've got that. You've got the power to manifest, and you've got the power to radiate. Very cool. Let's see what your life message is. Interesting. So your affirmation I hear is, I connect with heaven. Whenever my faith seems to be shaken by fear or doubt, I wisely return to my inner self and connect with the heaven within inside me. I now see all my resentments as ideal opportunities to work on my inner self. These ordeals are necessary for my growth as I become aware of my dualities. Thus, I no longer seek to dramatize situations, but to live each day in serenity. Very interesting. So this is a very evolved soul, right? This is somebody who is connected to their faith, or maybe you have a renewed connection to your faith. And within that wisdom, we also acknowledge that in this 3D reality, there is duality, there is contrast. But those who are wiser and evolved in their thinking understand that even within contrast, there is an opportunity to learn, an opportunity to grow. And directly metaphysically, it's the opportunity to set out our intentions, because when we see what we do not want, it becomes very clear about what we do want, and we set out that asking, and that is the first step of the law of attraction, is the asking. And in the words of Abraham Hicks, what is asked is given. So there is this understanding of that cycle, of the cycle of seeing the contrast, making the asking and the wanting, and then receiving that of which we've asked for through our faith, our knowing, trust, and understanding, and connection with the divine. Okay, the divine is all part of our journey here too. We've got our teams on the other side, our ancestors, all of that serenity on the other side, gifted to us, with us, through us. And so we hold on to harmony and bring heaven onto earth by living that truth, living with that faith, and being in our hearts. Because the heart is the beacon, the energy source of love in the body. And our heart, from an energy healing standpoint, is one of the strongest ever growing chakras. Just like this. Now, it's oftentimes viewed as a green petaled flower that opens, but see the sun, which is the energy source, the heart radiates out and heals all. Heals the body, heals the mind, the psychology, and it heals those around us. And that is how heaven is manifested within this world, in this 3D reality. Very cool. Let's see what the oracle has for you today. Wow, right there. Coherence. Notice how in the center of this sacred geometry diagram, there is the green orb radiates out. The energy radiates out as its own sun. The sun, the green, the energy of the heart chakra, compassion. It is through the heart that it is in alignment with the mind and all other chakras in our body, that we find alignment, we find coherence. And when we find coherence, that is how we manifest the reality we desire. This is about harmony, harmonizing ourself, our health, our wealth, our light, our love, our communication, our friends, our thoughts, our everything in balance. And from that, we create this beautiful world. Wow, what an incredible energy you have. Green calcite pile number 2. I hope you took much from this reading, and I hope you keep going out there and shining your light bright for everyone who comes in contact with you. Next pile. Hello, pile number 3. You selected Shungite. Now, Shungite is a very old stone. It's over 2 million years old, and it's been associated with physical and spiritual protection. Okay, so it's a very grounding stone. It's a very also, even though it's grounding, it's still very calming and high vibrational. And I will even say that it is, in a way, mystical and very sharp to manifest things with. When I pulled the cards for Shungite, it was so decisive, I didn't really even need to use my pendulum much. So this is a great card to help, a great stone to use or have in your collection to help you just cut through the noise. Okay, and from that, I found that this stone felt very masculine to me. Now, looking online, a lot of people have said that they feel this represents more yin energy, which is divine feminine energy. And once again, we're using the binary, obviously, gender system here, but it's not really about, gender as we see it in the modern times, or sex related to gender. We're talking about how energy is conceptualized in different cultural references. So feminine energy being the yin energy, which is more about standing still, softness, the attractive force, and the inward receiving of energy, whereas masculine energy is the yang energy, expression outward, creative manifestation energy going out. Again, not related to sex, it's just what I think many have associated culturally with these different characteristics behind energy. And in energy, we're talking about conscious information as it relates to how we interpret how things work, okay, in general, right? Beyond that long explanation of things, this stone is very powerful as its mystical properties are very much associated with protection and manifestation, what I said. And I also get a feeling of shielding here, because black oftentimes in mystical work is associated with empowerment and shielding and grounding and protecting you from any, darker messages or information that may be coming your way. So let's look at what the tarot has to say about your authentic self, the message that your highest self wants you to hear about your journey and your mission in this particular lifetime. Wow, I'm seeing so much synchronicity in this person here, so much in terms of synchronistic journeying. You may be right now going through an awakening to remembering of who you are, what you're about, why you're here, and where you're coming from. Now notice the 2 here, 2 of Wands, right? It represents, taking a step towards whatever you want to create, whatever you want to manifest in this world. But notice how you have these 2 pillars. They look like gates, right? They look like a gate that you must walk through. It is the portal of one's idea, one's soul, one's transitioning in life that you are being asked to walk through right now, to manifest the reality that you want. Notice the 2 in this image, or the pillars, looks almost like 11. And you notice the Justice card is the number 11. And so you may be seeing synchronicities like 1111, or have in the past seen a lot of 1111. This is calling you to walk towards your memory of your past Akashic understanding of self. Yourself, your knowing, your deep inner knowing is available to you now. So take a leap of faith and walk through that portal and let your ideas come to fruition. You also have the Justice card here, which is all about balance, balancing the scales and looking at how have you been conducting yourselves, your actions and your thoughts. Are they in line? Are you in balance? Are you not in balance? What other karmic things have you addressed or need to address to work on self? This is a soul that has been deeply journeying. We all journey, right? But perhaps you have felt like an old soul in your life. So you can see here the scales, which is balanced on this sword, which represents the mind and the all-seeing eye that's here, is resting on this triangle of petrified wood. Petrified wood being a substance that has lived through the ages, and the waters that it's interacted with have essentially left markings, impressions upon that wood. And petrified wood, to get to where it is also very old, just like the Shungite. So there's a deep, almost karmic knowing and journeying that this soul has gone through lifetime after lifetime after lifetime, and you are seeking that balance. You are seeking that justice, even an understanding of the universe and how the universe works and why things are the way they are, and your role in that observation and reporting of it. Not necessarily justice or judgment of it, but discernment through it and finding balance of it. I also get the sense of a lot of truth to this person, a lot of wanting fairness, wanting compassion, wanting things to happen in a very physical way. Even you see how the sword goes into the bullseye. It's like you've got a target and you want that target to happen, so you're trying to achieve a lofty goal. And this two of wands is confirming that you're creating this reality that you want, your thoughts and this that are manifesting into this world in the 3D reality. You're trying to create something special and remarkable here in your lifetime. So go and do it. Go and do it. Because whatever you're feeling or thinking in your mind is going to be what brings you joy. For it is the process, not the destination, but the process that is our, experience, the mission here, that provides the opportunity for our soul expansion and learning. So don't think that your ideas are, too out there. Maybe that out there thinking that you have is exactly what you need. The other sense that I'm getting for this, for some of you, not all of you, but some of you, because when I pulled this card out, actually 2 other cards came out too that resonated with me, but my pendulum told me to put it back just because I could only have 2 cards in this reading. But so for some of you this may resonate, maybe others of you it will not. But I also, in relation to this justice here, I saw the Hierophant and another card that represents laws and legal. So some of you within this deck here probably in this lifetime or going through right now some legal challenges that you may be dealing with in relation to a partnership. That could be a business partnership, or that could be a familiar partnership, a marriage partnership that is very much teaching you, that has brought you a lot of challenge. But it's okay. You have everything you need, all the resources you need to balance those scales and be victorious. Okay, so I feel an energy here of somebody who is on a mission and has been challenged, but you are all powerful and you will win whatever challenge is coming your way, or any adversaries that may try to come and tip you off your scales. Interesting. Maybe that's why I felt such a divine masculine energy from this stone. Okay, next card. All right, we have a message of forgiveness here. Interesting. Especially because of what I just said. So in terms of your affirmation, I no longer suffer from a struggle with what has been said and done. I bless and I am grateful to each soul that I perceive has hurt me. And I release them to their own greater good. My past provides me with the lessons that will help me live the present more fully. I fill myself with a love that is pure and free. Oh, so powerful, so interesting. Here's the thing about being old, okay? When you're older in age, whether that is in this current lifetime or your soul's age, you go through stuff. You're bound to go through stuff. You are bound to have seen stuff. And sometimes it can feel unfair because sometimes it can feel like, dark forces, dark shadows, or people who are coming to challenge you are winning. But, they're not. If they're not full of love and bliss and harmony and joy, are they really winning, truly? Are you really winning? If you get everything, but at the end of the day, feel empty and alone? No. We win when we are part of unity consciousness, and when we are aligned with a higher vibration of good, and when things are balanced and fair. Notice how in the Two of Wands here, it's almost like the person's mind is in a cage. Now, they're not in a cage because this person is transitioned. This is a very positive card. But I'm just saying, in the image, it's almost like the person's mind is contained within something, right? What it's saying to me is that through the mind and through the human will, we release that. We release all that feels like it's entrapped us, because our soul cannot be entrapped. Remember that they can take everything from you. Everything can be taken. Our home, our wealth, family and friends even. They can take your freedom, but they cannot take that gem of a mind of yours. And if you choose to live in love, in purity and freedom, it's still yours. Okay? It's still yours. But it begins with forgiveness. So if anyone has harmed you, or you come from a past that has been very heavy, forgive. And know that even in that environment, maybe you have done things that you're not proud of, per se. Understand that was a transitionary phase for you to learn and see yourself in misalignment with what you know yourself to be. And so you also need to forgive yourself for it. Forgive yourself and do better. And through that forgiveness, we become more compassionate and empathic, so that we have space to forgive others. Forgiveness is the key and so much conflict that goes around in this world. And if we practiced forgiveness, we also practice unconditional love. And this is the wise truth that is the key and has been the lesson through many ages, many decades, and many spiritual leaders. All right, let's see what your oracle card is. Wow. I'm telling you, everything is synchronicity, okay? Everything, anytime I do these readings, I always receive synchronicity via my cards and my pendulums and all these messages that come to me, through me, and to you. Divine masculine, okay? You know, it's interesting because in spiritual work, this is aside from the reading, but you can look something up and see, oh, what the crystal meaning of this and that is, but your intuition may tell you otherwise. And that's the thing. These things are not set in stone, you know. Even though majority of what I read had said that this is more of a divine feminine energy, I kept feeling divine masculine from this for some odd reason. And it's this whole reading is pointing towards that, the divine masculine energy. The 2-2. This is also a master number, 22. This is also a master number, 11. So we're looking at somebody who is focused on self-mastery in the divine, within this 3D reality, but to take them onto the next level of kindness and wisdom. Okay? The divine masculine supports our strong focus and active side, allowing us to express itself, helping us to bring dreams and ideas into form with kindness and wisdom. Just like the 2 of Wands, which is all about your ideas and taking action to create something. Now, in this particular tarot deck, the Wands is fire. So this is an action-oriented energy here. Divine masculine, also an action-oriented energy. Take whatever challenges that you may have and let that encourage you to create something incredible from it, right? So an example of this in terms of forgiveness. Maybe you have had your fair share of haters. Well, my recommendation to you is to love your haters. Love your haters so much that it motivates you to create and to succeed in a way that you set an example, in a way that they cannot ignore your light. You don't necessarily need their acknowledgement or validation, but you take their words to heart and let it bring you down, that's going to keep you stagnant. But if you take their words and you just let it pass you, bounce off of you, motivate you even to create the world that you think is more fair, more abundant, more just, then you are creating something strong here, something beautiful. Okay? And this is the thing about self-mastery. It isn't to bend and fold when things are a challenge. All right? It's about being brave and courageous in our heart and going into the unknown. Right? Look at the bravado it takes for someone who discovers something. I think, what was his name? Captain John or something like that, who went with his team to Antarctica, right? If they didn't have the bravery to face the unknown and just go and discover this, new place that is unfamiliar, relentless in its coldness and survivability, then we wouldn't know as much about Antarctica. And they didn't survive, I don't think, in their mission, but it's that same fortitude that allows us to expand as a humanity, expand in our consciousness, in our learning, in our creation. Okay? So I hope that you take from this reading inspiration and let that ignite you. And I will add another thing here. Okay, notice how much blue is in this reading. I've got blue here, we've got blue flames in the background here. This card is mostly blue, this is blue. This is about expression. So don't hold your truth back. Speak truth to power. And there's a lot going on in this world right now. People, causes, things that need your good voice, that needs your sharp understanding. Something that's been grounded in so much long time developed empathy and wisdom. All right? And maybe you see what's happening around you and it fills you with anger. But try to forgive. Try to forgive. And then speak those solutions from your heart. Right? Mobilize and work with people and lead. Because you have so much to give. All right, pile 3. Thank you so much for your time. And I look forward to seeing all that you will do in this lifetime. I'm sure many people will benefit from it. Okay, you have a wonderful